I've lived about 45 years in America. I do believe so. Of course, identified as a black man, profiled as a black man. Whether I was accepted by black people in America or not, it doesn't matter. But I identify myself as a black man from Africa. Here are more, in fact, Americans than Eritreans. That's how I used to live all my lives, identifying as a black American. Whether I was treated by black Americans equally or not is a different story. In many ways, yes, I did. In some ways, I have suffered the consequence of being an African from the angle of black American. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever we go, we have to protect human rights. We have to protect human dignity. We have a lot of homelessness in America, and we cannot see leaders, educated people, exploiting the people for their advantage. Okay, what is enough? How much money is enough? So here I am trying to participate in one of the shows that I had by experience today and see what's happening here, man.
It's filing open records requests, calling, emailing, walking into district headquarters in person. It wasn't until they had to bring in an attorney that the district finally handed over the purchasing card records. And what they found was completely insane.
I've never heard of these kind of expenditures with any other superintendent in DeKalb County schools before.
That's what led Channel 2 Action News to request Horton's DeKalb County District P cards. According to the documents, during one visit to Sam's Club, Dr. Horton spent $11,000.
Where does the money go from? Where did it come from? Of course, the taxpayers. $11,000 in one visit. What did the doctor buy? And how many black people? Of course, white people as well. People are people actually. How many people are outside prison in a week?
He racked up $8,700 on one check at Jason's Deli. And
for heaven's sake, what kind of food was that?
One visit to the Italian restaurant Bambinelli's, that cost the district $4,500.
You must be joking.
Another meal at the same restaurant, $3,100. And there's more. He spent $3,100 on a trip to Honey Baked Ham and $2,600 at Chick-fil-A on a single charge. In total, Dr. Devon Horton spent more than $120,000 in 2 years as superintendent, and he didn't need board approval.
Let me run through these numbers real quick.
How can he justify this kind of expenses at the expense of the people, at the expense of the taxes? Taxpaying citizens, ladies and gentlemen, how many people are out there suffering in the streets of America? Homelessness, drugs. Too many people need help. This kind of expectation by a doctor. A doctor is the worst thing is if anybody could do it, it's okay. Educated people, let's say, and professionals, people who have money to do this kind of damage to society. I don't understand.
Because it's absolutely wild. $11,000 at Sam's Club in one visit. $8,700 at Jason's Deli. $4,500 at Bambinelli's. Then another $3,100 at the same restaurant. $3,100 at Honey Baked Ham. And $2,600 at Chick-fil-A on one single charge. In total, this man spent over $120,000 on a district purchasing card in just 2 years. And here's the kicker. He didn't need board approval for any of it. Under DeKalb's policy, the superintendent only needs permission to spend when the amount exceeds $100,000 in a single purchase. So Horton had essentially carte blanche to spend taxpayer money however he wanted, as long as he kept each individual charge under 6 figures. And it also gets worse because apparently Horton paid a friend $25,000 to give a speech at a kickoff event, then paid another $20,000 for the same person's books, $45,000 to a friend with no approval needed. States?
That doesn't make sense, man. $45,000 for 2 speeches. How many hours did the speaker speak anyway? What is the value of money in this respect? It doesn't make sense.
Senator Emmanuel Jones, who represents the area, said it best. How did they let this go for so long without any kind of accountability?
He told me he's always questioned why these 4 current school board members voted to hire Dr. Devon Horton 2 years ago. Jones says Dr. Horton was never one of the top candidates in the nationwide search.
Certainly a
burning, tingling, numb.
Captain. Morley was the only dissenting vote when the board decided to hire Horton 6-1 back in 2023. She saw the red flags from day one. She stepped down after an ethics complaint and didn't run for re-election. But now she's saying that every board member who voted for this man should be removed. And honestly, I completely agree.
The problem with changing superintendents constantly is that every superintendent has his or her own vision. There is no stability in the school district. There's no continuity in programs.
They should have done their due diligence.
Horton was the 8th or 9th superintendent they had since 2010. They changed superintendents like they changed their shoes. And the board just gave this man a contract extension through 2028 and bumped his salary to $360,000 a year, just months before the indictment dropped. So it looks like nobody on the board saw anything wrong. The board...
That's not enough. $300,000 is not enough for one man. What is enough? How much greed is enough, ladies and gentlemen? Well, a lot of people are out there. Homeless people, hungry children in America. $300,000 is not enough to do a good job to society.
Approved a forensic audit after Horton resigned. They hired a firm and paid them $85,000 to examine the P-card transactions. That audit looked at a sample between July 2023 and September 2024. And here we are, months later, still waiting for those results. And I think the community deserves some answers. Now, as if the 17-count federal indictment and the $120,000 in questionable spending wasn't enough, on January 17th, DeKalb County Police responded to a domestic violence call at Horton's home. Officers determined that a verbal argument between Horton and his wife turned physical.
So the first charge is aggravated assault, an alleged aggravated assault on his wife. And then the second charge is cruelty to children. Now, all of this happened on Saturday, this past Saturday, at his home. But a judge did issue him a $25,000 bond, $20,000 for the first count, which again is aggravated assault, and $5,000 is for that cruelty to children charge as well.
Horton's attorney says that there was an argument between Horton and his wife, and according to this arrest warrant, he choked her.
According to the arrest warrant,
he choked her, ladies and gentlemen. He choked his wife. A doctor did that in front of his child. Wow.
Horton put his hands around his wife's neck after she told him not to slam a door. Their 5-year-old son witnessed the entire thing, watched his father allegedly choke and push his mother toward a wall. His wife...
You know what he did to the child? A doctor doesn't understand this, ladies and gentlemen. A mom beating his wife in front of her kid, her child, helplessly crying, Dad, Mom, all that kind of stuff. He doesn't understand what kind of damage, psychological damage he inflicted on the child. Beating him in front of his wife. He permanently damaged him. The doctor, education. What is the substance of education, ladies and gentlemen? How can a doctor do this kind of problems? Corruption may be another story. Kind of domestic abuse in front of a child. Well, who could be safe if the doctor cannot protect society? Ladies and gentlemen, I feel sorry.
Told police that she felt like she was going to faint, even though there was no visible injuries. Horton was booked into the DeKalb County Jail on charges of aggravated assault by strangulation and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree.
In a statement, Dr. Devon Horton's attorney writes in part, no child was involved in the argument in any way other than the mere fact that they were at home when it occurred. Dr. Horton is a loving and devoted father to his children.
And his wife doesn't want charges pursued.
But again, today, the big thing was his wife testified on his behalf and she defended him.
But here's the problem with that statement. The arrest warrant says that the 5-year-old saw it happen. That child watched his father put his hands around his mother's neck. That's not merely being at home. That's...
Well, I said, gentlemen, of course, wives can change around and try to support the man sometimes. Or probably he didn't do it. Who knows? Because women lie too. There's so many people in prison because of false accusations, right? Therefore, they can flip-flop too, no matter what. However, the child witnessed that kind of stuff going on. And I think the doctor was totally wrong in the situation. Here is an experience saluting everybody. I don't care what you think about anybody else in terms of colors, in terms of skin color, in terms of ethnicity or identity. I believe in humanity, ladies and gentlemen. Peace to every human being. Peace to every child. Peace to every society. Peace to every homeless. Home to every homeless. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to protect society altogether. The educated class has responsibility to give back to society, but not such a way. Let's appreciate it, and then we will come to this. I like the videos. Brother is doing a good job. He's doing a good job. He has a lot of supporters, and I support him. I call myself Zen Experience, and we take care of things as such, because justice has to be served. Injustice right here is injustice anywhere. You understand? It's not about color issue here. It's about injustice in general. It's about humanity. So I'll see you next time, the next show. If you like it, give it some kind of love. If you don't worry. Enjoy yourself and be peaceful. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all about being here and now. Life is about being here and now. Life is not about accumulating money, because we're not going to take it. We're not going to take it. We will all die. It's a matter of time. Life is not even about success. No, it's about sharing. It's about compassion. It's about humility. It's about good relationship. You understand what I'm saying? We should just try to help people where they're needed. We got to have some kind of energy to sit down there and talk about people's problems. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot rip off people's money while they suffer in the streets. But I love you. I'll see you next time. We will take care of business wherever we go. Place, nationality, skin color will not stop us. We'll just go. When I say us, I'm saying to myself, I consider myself, all of us, ladies and gentlemen, have a good time.
Thank you.